Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. So, gonna get straight into this, mainly because it's great to try new things. So over the last probably 2 or 3 years, I've championed a lot of Helican Tech stuff, and for good reason. It is exceptionally good quality stuff. But talking to Military First, and they said, well, do you want to try something different for a change? I was like, okay, variety is the spice of life. So they sent me, I fashioned a woodland hanger. They sent me some Pentagon wolf pants. I have seen these around, and I know from the people that I've spoken to that have gone, yeah, you really need to check these out. Okay, I'll add that to the list. So when Military First said, well, you'd like to try these, I was like, yes, let's do this. Now, before I get straight into this, a huge thank you to supporter of the channel, Military First. They've been, yeah, as you say, they've been a supporter of the channel now for the last 3, maybe 4 years. I want to say a huge thank you to them for the continued support, and for everybody that would like to know more about them. Military First are the UK's largest military and outdoors supplier. Pretty much anything and everything, you can go there. They've got all the top name brands. They post throughout the UK, which you probably expect, but they go straight into Europe as well and the rest of the world. And yes, I highly recommend you check them out. I'll leave all of their links below. Now, I was going to add this to the end, but I thought I'd add it now for those people that don't make it to the end. So, I've tried quite a few Pentagon items so far. Mainly they've been bags, or actually the vast majority of them have been bags, apart from the on your head thing, a boonie hat, which I freaking love, by the way. I'll leave a link to wherever that content is here. Let's hear some other Pentagon products that you'd like to see an honest review from the Moorlander from. But for now, let's get into the Pentagon wolf pants. Now, I thought quickly before I start, it's probably important just to give you a little bit of information about me. I'm 5'10", which is about 175 centimeters. I'm about 100 kilos, which is roughly 220 pounds. I usually go for a large, which is a 36-inch waist. And these are a large, and they are a 36-inch waist, and they fit me pretty much perfectly, in fact. Leg-wise, I struggle. Sometimes I go for a regular, sometimes I go for a short, but I'm a kind of in between size, so I generally go for a regular, and these are a regular, and they fit me perfectly as well. So just in case you're wondering, oh, should I get I definitely recommend checking out the Pentagon website so that you can see more on their exact sizing. But what I've found is that their sizes are true to my sizing for these pants. Now, I was going to hang these up in a tree, but it turned out there's a lot of light in the background. But I think this probably gives a really nice picture of them. So I'll start off with materials. The vast majority of this, in fact, I'd probably say about 90%, probably even higher, of these pants are made from this ripstop poly cotton. 65% poly, 35% ripstop. A nice thing that I will point out with these as well, these can be washed at 40 degrees. I've done at least 3 days skirmishing with these. I also did the 3 Peaks walk with these as well, and yeah, they've been washed quite a few times. No shrinkage whatsoever, which I'm really happy about. Colours wise, there are 4 different colours. So these are the Ranger Green, which I really do like Ranger Green. Ranger Green and the RAL 7013, is it? I like that kind of mix of green and brown. Yes, really like the colour. But the other 2 flat colours, so you have your standard kind of coyote, you also have black as well. Pentagon are a Greek company, and they also have the Greek lizard skin camo, which is pretty freaking cool. But yes, you can also get those in here as well. So starting at the top, working our way down, we'll start at the waistline. So the waistline on these, as far as the closure is concerned, now this may be something that a lot of you will be pretty happy about. In the past, when I've looked at some of the Helicon Tex ones, it took me a while to get used to the Velcro closure, and going back to a button and snap, it's really nice. So on the inside here you have this large button that you pass through on the inside. Once that's on, you then put on the press stud there and it holds everything into place. Really nice. If I was going to change anything, and this is such a picky, stupid little thing, and I'm embarrassed that I'm saying this. So we do have some Canadian buttons here over these two pockets. If they were to change that to a Canadian button, I think I'd much prefer that. But look at the amount of cotton that they've used on there. It's ridiculous. I have no issues or worries that this is going to come off, but I think that Canadian button would have been nicer. Let me just zoom in a little bit further. Sorry about that. So yes, but again, that is a huge, small little feature. Hi Norman, come on, let's jump off for a second. Sorry, no, not a button fly, it's a zip fly. All of the zips on here are YKK zips. There are 1, 2, 3, I think there might be another one. I can't remember where the other one is, but yes, we've just got this main one there. On the inside, in here, Norman smelt something, I can see his nose dribbling. Around the back, especially here, which comes probably around maybe say 2/3 around to the front, you also have this grip mesh material here as well. So there isn't any additional elastic across this back section. So a lot of these pants do tend to have this section here to be elastic. Instead, what they have with these is, so this mesh material here, it has these little raised sections. I was a bit unsure about this, again, you know, when I first got them, but having had them now, if you tuck your shirt into here, this does an incredibly good job of keeping that shirt in place. There's nothing worse with lots of bending forward, your shirt keeps coming out, you get well, you get just crap down the back of your butthole, don't you? It does a very good job on there. The belt loops, nice, large, 40mm belt loops. You can pretty much pass any belt through here should you so desire. You also get some elastic on here. Well, generally you find with these, it's not elastic, but I do like how they've done this. So there's a pass through here, and this Velcro tab, and on the end here, if I pull this, hopefully you can see that that's elasticated. So you can put that on, and then should you need just to have a little bit more wiggle room, then you can do that with these adjusters. On the back, if I just turn these over ever so quickly, on the back here you get the same. So you have some more large belt loops, and then you get double belt loops in the middle just to make sure you can hold everything in place. I think what we'll probably do is we'll go through the front and then we'll go through the back, save me having to keep flipping them each time. Pockets, 2 large front pockets, they're exactly the same, and I will say that these are huge. So my hand, well, there you go, actually. My span from there to there is exactly 9 inches, so you can see how deep these go. They do cut into the pant here as well to make sure that you've got ample room for anything that you want to put in there. No organisation inside these pockets, which isn't necessarily a good or a bad thing, but what you do get in here is you get your adjustable knee. So if you have issues with pants like myself, I'm kind of in between a size, and you want to be able to lift it ever so slightly so that when you're taking a knee, you can take a knee and your pads are in the right place. You have an adjuster. Now, it didn't take me a while to find them, but usually you'll find that the adjuster is in this thigh pocket here. They've moved it a little bit higher, so instead you get it in the main pockets. Just makes it a little bit easier to be able to adjust things should you need to, but being able to get the leg so it's exactly the right length is perfect. In the bottom left or bottom right corner, you also have some reinforcement, so if there are tools that you use more, then it will help. what they've also done, which I've not seen anybody else do, which I really like, is inside the pocket. So you're not just getting the reinforcement where the clip is, you also get double reinforcement inside the pocket as well. I think that's a great little feature. It's an area that's often overlooked because you just think it's where the clip goes, but I think that's great. Moving down the thighs or into the groin area, you have 2 magazine pockets, which are, I mean, yeah, you can easily fit a 9mm. Well, you can fit pretty much any pistol magazine into these, and they are exactly the same on both sides. Moving down a little bit further, you then have those 2 thigh pockets. Should you need to get anything whilst you're sat down, it's always a struggle to get into these pockets, so you can put any notes, anything like that into these pockets, and yeah, have instant access to that. They do, what are you doing? Come on. They do sit flat on here. There is gusseting, it's here in the middle, so that will allow you to add volume to them. However, there's no gusseting around the outside, which again, you know, as I mentioned, it will keep them, mate, come on you stinky bum, come on! We'll keep them nice, nice and flat there for you as well. Now moving round, so we've actually got, so like you'll get with a lot of these style pants, you then have your outer thigh pocket. There's a few, well actually there's 2 different pockets on here. The main pocket is here. We have 2 Canadian buttons. The first one goes through the flap itself. The second one has one of those little kind of hideaway buttons here on the inside. I've been running these with this first one in like that, which means that it keeps it nice and flat against my leg, but it also means should I need to get in there, then you know I can get in there. But for this, let's open this up, hopefully. And by the way, both of these are identical, so whatever we're looking at here on this right hand side is identical on the left hand side as well. But you have a little elastic loop here, so should you have a certain tool, maybe some keys that you want to have instant access to, then you have that. Plenty of gusseting, so there's none across the front, but here at the back there is a large section. And I also like that they've added this elastic in here as well, so when there's nothing in here, these sit a lot flatter than other pants that I've tried in the past, mainly because this little piece of elastic makes sure that it pulls it in. But should you want to pull it out, there's at least maybe 2.5 inches worth of additional volume that you can add into here as well. On the inside, which I love to see, Urban Tactical Pants, these do exactly the same. Here on the Wolf Pants, you have 2 additional pockets on the inside. So should you need to use these as a dump stash, then you can drop. You have one that will fit your 5.56, your 2.23 ammunition, and then there's an additional one behind that where you'll be able to fit a pistol magazine as well. Outside of any sort of tactical use, it is freaking awesome for dropping your phone in there. There's nothing worse than your phone just rattling around, but you put your phone in there, close it up, and yeah, it's nice and safe. Moving, as I mentioned, you know, both exactly the same, and then here on this side there is also a small Pentagon logo. So now at the knees, this is where your Cordura fabric comes in. So there is a long panel that just goes all the way down, or at least it's a good 9-10 inches. I wouldn't say it's particularly wide. Main reason I'm guessing for that, one, has helped to reduce some costs and also helped to reduce some weight on the pants themselves. But generally, it's just in that area that your patella goes down when you take a knee. These are reinforced, and also there is a hook and loop section at the bottom that you can put additional knee pads into here. I've tried the slimline kind of knee pads, but then I've also tried those big industrial kind of carpenters knee pads, put them into here. You do need to cut them down ever so slightly, but it's the same with all kind of those sort of knee pads. They fit in, and plus, because they have a nice wide opening, this opening is exactly the same width of this section all the way up, so you don't have to do that weird thing where you have to kind of scrunch it up to then get it in and then try and splay it open when it's in there. It just fits in perfectly. What you also get, which is something that I haven't seen before, which I do really like, is, so there's nothing worse than those knee pads that fasten behind your knee for the actual separate knee pads, mainly because you get that pinch at the back of your knee where the material crumples up. There's just no way around it. Everybody hates it, and it's just crap. So what you can do with these, rather than wearing them over, you can pass them up and then pass the straps through. So here, if you'll notice, we have one for the upper and two for the lower, which means that you don't have to fasten them as tightly behind your knee, because they will sit behind this Cordura material and they will sit within the area that you want it to sit. You can then reduce the elasticity, you can open them up just a little bit more on the outside, and it does stop a lot of that pinching, which is genius. I don't know why more companies aren't doing this with their pants. Moving then down the leg, on the calf area we have two identical pockets here with hook and loop, nice and deep, probably about 7 inches deep and about maybe say 4 inches across. Great for medical equipment, great for tools that you need to get access to when you're on your knee. Then down to the ankle cuffs. So the ankle cuffs, the material is doubled over. Is it doubled? Let's check. Yeah, it's definitely doubled. I was just checking to see if it was tripled. It might actually be tripled. I can't tell, but nice that you've got, you know, that extra protection there. Plus you have more of these elasticated cuffs. So should you need to get this really tight against your boots, you can do as well. Additional feature which I'm glad that they've added. There's been a few companies recently that have made some pants and they've omitted adding these, but you also get, oh, I hope that was in focus there, sorry about that, let's bring that back up. So you here are the cuffs. You also have, there's the elastic bit that I mentioned, and then on the inside you have a little tuck in for your gaiter that will attach to your laces. Seems a strange thing that some people omit to add, but I think it's a great feature that it's on there. It certainly stops your trousers from riding up. So that's the front section. Before I go on to the back, I just want to have a quick look on the gusset. The gusset doesn't have any stretch material on here. It's exactly the same material on the main trouser leg and through the gusset as well. Again, I've not found, touch wood, any issues with it. They're very comfortable. I haven't had any issues squatting, haven't had any issues running in these. As far as wear, now there is a little bit of wear, a little bit of kind of, what's the word, like bobbling, but it's certainly not wearing through. Not got any issues or worries about these whatsoever. Now my feet have gone numb. So the last little bits to talk about are really the last two pockets and the seat. So the seat on here, now let's grab the pocket for a second, because the pocket itself, if I was to pull that out and pull on the seat, it is double layered on the seat, which gives you that extra protection on sitting down. Plus it's a hard air where you're getting in and out of vehicles, having to sit on, you know, whatever you need to sit on. It's great to have that extra protection. The two rear pockets have hook and loop closure on there, and then on the inside they have this, it's a different material actually, it's almost like a felty material. Forgot to add, behind this pad, or this area, uses this really nice mesh, which helps to allow some breathing. Now the last little bit on here is behind your knee. So behind your knee you have these adjusters, which makes it really good to be able to make sure whatever protection that you have on the front of your knee sits in exactly the right place. So whether you want to pull that side in, go away, or both sides in, it just makes sure, as I mentioned, that when you're taking a knee, the protection that is over your patella will always be in the right place. Now, I will definitely say, like a lot of things, that the proof of the pudding is in the tasting. And as far as these pants are concerned, love them. Really do love them. So as mentioned, I've probably been out and done 3 skirmishes with these. Performed better than I was expecting. That's not to say that I wasn't expecting good from Pentagon, but I just didn't know where to set the bar as far as their clothing range is concerned, because other than a boonie hat that I'm not wearing today, I hadn't really got any understanding of how well they performed. Having got these now, yeah, if you're thinking of picking these up, just do it. They're very good, incredibly good in fact. The waist fits just about right. I wouldn't say you tend to get with a lot of these style pants that the waist generally tends to be a little bit higher. I'd say that these probably are more of a modern cut. So the waist is just maybe an inch, maybe half an inch lower, but it's just enough for a dad bod like me that frontage just sits perfectly. It just cradles my athletic dad bod belly on a day-to-day basis. With the colour of these, I find this colour is probably a little bit better. I wouldn't have done this if they were a camo colour, but I've worn these into the studio that I work at, and they've just been great. I sit down for 7.5 hours during the day, do my design work, and they're fine. Nobody's gone, God, Rand, you've gone full tactical today. They just look like normal kind of cargo pants. Even though secretly under the hood, these are Navy SEAL and would rip the skull out of your head and poo down your neck. Anyway, but also out walking. So I've done quite a few walks with these. Recently did the 3 Shires Head a few weeks back. Yeah, great. Plenty of room in them, plenty of just being able to get around, and you know, there's all of the dexterity and all of the mobility that you need from a decent pair of outdoors pants. So yes, you may have gathered, I'm rather impressed by these pants, and I'm going to say something bold, because for a few of you, just make sure you sat down while I say this, and that is, these might be the pants of 2023 so far. I know. So when was it? I think it was just after Christmas. I tried the Helicon Tex MDCU pants, is it? And I really liked those. That's not to say that they are bad. They're excellent pants. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing more brands. Show me more. Yes, very, very, very impressed with these. I think it's probably best at this point to say again a huge thank you to Military First for sending these my way. Thank you again for the continued support of the channel. All of their links will be below. Some of my social media links will be below as well. But for now, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. Now, of course, the proof of the pudding is in the tasting, and I will definitely say, with a hop, skip, and a jump. Nope. Not putting that in. That's going in the bloopers. The woods are blossoming. It's the best time of year. As you can see, it's mainly fern, but yeah, brings back memories. Yeah, beautiful. Anyway, where were we? Neve, as my daughter, eldest, I love her loads, has brought me home a summer cold as well, so apologies for all of the nasalness. What you doing? Dog got in the way a bit on that one, didn't he? In fact, look at him. Look at him. He says, Dad, I'm bored, I'm going to eat this wood. No, now he's licking his knob. Let's face it, if we could, we probably would do. gentlemen. I don't think I would, but anyway. Okay, cool. I hope you're having a good weekend. And yes, you can go now. Toodle pip.